All right, so I wanted to do a quick video on, well, first, everybody knows that there's three places to park your cash. You have either your tax today account, which has your savings account, your checking account, CDs, money market, non-qualified investments. You have your taxed never accounts, which are your Roth IRA, your under your mattress, and you have properly structured life insurance, which we call infinite banking. But there, you have a third location, which is your tax deferred bucket, right? Which is a lot of people talk about your IRA, your 401ks, where respectively, that's like there's like $19 trillion sitting in these accounts right now, deferring tax, kicking it down the road. So before I even get into this, I want to ask yourself a question: how open-minded you are. If you're open-minded, keep on following along. Give me 3 minutes of your time, but think about this for a second. I want to show you mathematically why deferring tax is one of the most foolish things that you can do. First of all, because the way tax rates are set right now and where they're going in the future, because think of all the liabilities that are coming on the books. Think about where the world is heading right now, just the United States in general. We have all this printing going on. Inflation is coming up. We have all these unfunded liabilities with the baby boomers retiring coming onto the books. So, and also the population is starting to age. So over time, this is like a perfect storm for either incredible inflation, and we have to figure out how to raise revenues as a country, or we're going to go insolvent. So we have to continue to print money, and we have to tax people. We have to raise taxes to pay for these liabilities that are coming on the book. So ask yourself how open you minded are about this tax deferred bucket. It's kind of a tricky subject because people get kind of bent out of shape about, my friend told me to do this, and this is what I was supposed to do because that's what you do. Now, I don't want to get into all the nitty-gritty details and this employee does this match and this percent. That's not the point of this. I'm talking about deferred buckets. I'm only talking about tax deferred. You're putting money into something today. You're giving up control of it in hopes for it to grow tax deferred with and earn more money, have more money net at the end of your lifetime when you retire than you would if you would have had it in maybe your tax today or your tax never bucket. So let's compare it to that. So let's look at a quick little example. Like I said, I won't take up a lot of your time here. A 401k or IRA, let's say you're contributing $10,000 a year into this thing over 30 years. That equals three. And like I said, I'm not getting into the matches. Let's just say for keeping things very, very simple, $10,000, 30 years over your lifetime, which equals $300,000 at 7%. Whether it's 8, whether it's 6, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. You're going to make $1 million in this tax deferred account over the 30 years. That's what we're going to say. Okay. Next is, let's talk about your tax savings, okay? 30%, you're saving. If you're in the 30% tax bracket, call it 24% federal and 6% state. Let's say it's 30%. So you're taking $10,000. You're going to save yourself in that 30%. You're going to save $3,000 per year in deferred tax. So you're not going to be taxing yourself. So that's 30 years, which equals 90 grand, right? That's what we just deferred in taxes. We're kicking that can down the road. That's the move. So, like I said earlier, if you think that taxes are going to go down in the future, then you need to stuff your tax deferred buckets as much as possible because it's going to save you money over the long term, right? It's going to be less in taxes later on down the road than what you would be paying right now. So let's defer it. Well, that's one side. But like I said, with all the indicators stating that taxes are going to just have to go up, I would be willing to bet that the best case scenario, we have 30% tax bracket still. Worst case, you're talking 50, 60% because Uncle Sam, this is the low-hanging fruit right now. Uncle Sam has everybody right where we want them if you really think about it. They put all their money into these accounts that Uncle Sam really owns and controls, and they can just change the rules whenever they want. Let's just be honest with you. Uncle Sam pretty much runs the world. So like I said, you've deferred over 30 years, $3,000 a year, so that's 90 grand in taxes. But let's say that the best case scenario, taxes remain the same. You're now going to have this $1 million that you have right here, 1,000,000 bones, taxed at this 30% tax rate. Best case. What does that look like? 300 grand in taxes now. So ask yourself this question. Do I really want to defer $3,000 a year, give up control of, and I now give up, I've just now deferred 90 grand in taxes for this now to mature from $1 million, and I'm getting banged out by 300 grand. As you can see here, I don't know who wins this deal, but it's not you. If you have money in these things, you're going to end up getting canned down the road. You're trying to save a couple $1,000 when you're deferring this tax to end up when it's really time to retire. You're really, I mean, it's just tough to see. You're losing out over 200 grand. And like I said, these are round numbers. Could be more, could be less. Everyone's situation is different. But these are just factual numbers. This is just math. So, like I said, you're going to have to need to see tax rates drop below 10% for deferring tax to even make sense. So, if you believe that taxes are going to be less than 10% in the future, then stuff these things full as much cash as you can. But if you're on the other side where you think taxes may even just remain the same, best case scenario, they remain the same. But if they go up, then we're in a whole different ballgame. But tax deferred buckets, there is a strategy for this. And I'm not some financial guy, but putting money in these things, you give up control of your money, and your Uncle Sam has you right where you want you. So just be very careful about what you're doing. Like I said, I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but these are just the facts of what putting money in a tax deferred bucket will look like later on down the road when you plan to retire.